И здравствуйте, дорогие зрители и подписчики моего канала, с вами Ворон. И сегодня мы продолжим проходить Kingdom Come Deliverance. Так. Ой. Ладно. Не подключил геймпад. Попробуем с клавиатуры поиграть. Так, нас там надо закончить расследование, кто напал на конюшне. Плюс... Что-то подтормаживает-то. Так... Знаете что, давайте попробуем из лука пострелять. Я хочу посмотреть, как с мышкой получится это сделать. Как с геймпадом стреляется, мы уже знаем. Ага, правильно. В нужном направлении идете, товарищи. Стоп. Да ё-моё, лошадь, ты чё перепрыгнуть не можешь? Тоже мне скакун фигов. Лошадь не может перепрыгнуть ограду. Да, стрелок из меня еще тот. Стрелы кончились. Фиг с ним, поскакали. Игорь, спасибо за лайк. Так, нам лучше всего перебраться куда-нибудь поближе. Здесь надо найти... Поближе это значит сюда. Автоскачка. О, заодно откроем местность. Что здесь у нас? Ну, так, ладно. Путник. Не обращать внимания. Ага, вот и путник. Может поговорить с ним? Ты что здесь делаешь-то?
What's it about? You have incredible good fortune, friend. I have an offer for you, the likes of which comes along only once in a lifetime.
Ну-ка покажи, что принес. Мало ли, что краденое, не краденое.
As you wish.
Молчание золота и другие суеверия. Ну, давайте. Вот умение читать. Вот сейчас мы как раз и научимся читать. Потому что в той части, куда нам надо ехать, там есть и задание научиться читать. Погнали. Еще дождичек такой проливной. Ну, может, заодно одежда постирается. А может и нет. Какие-то телеги брошенные. Дождь прошел. Поедем-ка лучше по дороге. Хотя на дороге можно нарваться на лихих людей. Заодно пофехтуем. Оп. Лес. Так, мы в том направлении-то хоть двигаемся. Да, в том. Ой, птички поют, солнышко, ляпота. Узнать, где живет разбойник. Для начала я хочу Узнать, где научиться читать. А потом уж с разбойником решать дело. Я так подозреваю, это здесь где-то. Ого. Грамотей местный.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
Так, мы можем приступить. Давайте приступим.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started. The sooner I master it, the better.
Very well. I will require some groschen from you, though, and set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces, if indeed time is of the essence.
Ну да, чё мы зря что ли сюда приехали?
Here are your groschen.
Then we may as well start. He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. May he follow his heart.
А вот я не погорячился ли?
It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through it.
Так, какая книга? Понятно, мы уже прочитали. Ну чё, писарь?
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
That being greedy doesn't pay.
Excellent. You're one of
Угадал.
the
Я, правда, не
talented
прочитал
critics.
нифига.
You've uncovered the meaning hidden in the letters. Like I told you, books are valuable, and the words that you place in them ought to be no less so.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. To fully learn your way around words will take a lot more reading yet. Now we'll move on to the second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudite and religious men. If you really want to be able to read, there's no getting away from Latin. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it, but you should master the letters.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
Оля, приветствую тебя. Спасибо за пожелание. Спасибо тебе. Так, что мы там еще должны прочитать? Прочесть латинский текст, да? Это не то, где.
Jesus, look where you're going! Jesus, look where you're going!
Да не ори ты. А вот. Кто в латыни разбирается, подскажите. Трези, приветствую, спасибо тебе. Так, я не разбираюсь. Будем надеяться, что и так достаточно. Просто посмотреть в эту книгу.
I read the page.
So tell me, Distripule, what's written there?
Ё-моё.
Nullus est liber tam malus. Ut non alique parte prosit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more.
Я опять угадал.
Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot.
Дима. Да, видел. Спасибо тебе. Так, хорошо. Теперь давайте про хромого у него узнаем.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
It must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell you'd want him for, and I don't much care. He's got a cottage on the edge of the village near the stream.
Отлично. Чего поторговать у тебя есть? Буквально. Ну мы же обучились уже. Что тебе можно продать? Ладно, пока. Опять душ там что ли фигачит? Точно. Ну поехали за хромым. А теперь горбатый. Чё? Сам за ним бегай. Ну, пойдем узнаем, что здесь творится. Я так понимаю, хромого уже уработали.
Citizens, move along. There's nothing to see here.
Точно.
What you call nothing to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh.
То, что от него осталось.
Or all that's left of him.
Ё-моё.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Кошмарики. За что его так или пытали, или чего? Посетили Любуша этого. Так.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Ясно. Короче, бедокурил постоянно.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Так, короче, ничего хорошего не
When did
рассказывает.
you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Так, от этого толку мало. Ты чё особняком стоишь? Ну-ка рассказывай. Подозрительный-то какой-то.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much. But I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Да, короче, доморощенный детектив. Из
Do you know
нашего
what Lubosh was
персонажа.
doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubos used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
Так. Хорошо. Кого еще пора спрашивать, а? Кто может все знать? Сплетница?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask away.
Who was this Lubos who was murdered?
He was a drunkard and a beast. And lazy too. Idle hands are the devil's tools.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
The only thing seemed suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church. Now I see why, of course.
Опаньки. В костел стал ходить. Ага.
You know what Lubos was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
What do I care about that scoundrel? I was glad he stayed out of my way.
Do you know who Lubos used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
Вот
He
продолжение
was always a
задания.
loner. Except lately he started talking to the parish priest of all people.
Отлично.
Thank you.
Так, но я думаю, надо все равно и остальных опрашивать. Кто-нибудь что-нибудь доляпнет.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sahanish.
I don't know nothing about it, but to ask all you want.
That man Lubos who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Но мужики про корчму все время.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
Do you know what Lubos was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Так.
Do you know anyone Lubos used to spend time with?
Кто-нибудь что-нибудь довидел?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you.
Точно надо всех опрашивать. Может, кто-то видел, кто там вечером перся.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of...
Sir Hanish gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
That man Lubos who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered. Lord knows how he made a living. Well, maybe now I've got an idea or two.
Ну, задним числом все догадываются.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
Do you know what Lubos was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait. Are you saying he... Jesus.
Do you know anyone Lubos used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
Ясно. Этот никого не
That's all.
видел. Не знаю, стоит остальных расспрашивать или как.
Jesus!
What the hell are you doing?
Ты куда пошел?
God be with you.
I've come in the name of
Of course. Ask away.
А, мы тебя уже
That's all.
расспрашивали.
Thank you.
Так, все разошлись, ладно. Пойдем к священнику тогда. Давайте здесь поближе. Через заточку узнать побольше о хромом Любаше. А ты отойди. Так. Интересно, сюда что здесь? И почему именно здесь узнать побольше об этом Любаше? Ладно, похоже, это... Так, тогда сюда, к священнику. С кем поговорить? Вот он. Шаолинь. Угадал.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sahanish of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Так, ну поехали.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Да фиг он что расскажет.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Блин. Давайте вот так вот.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a
Провал,
cornerstone
блин.
of the Holy Church. If people believe the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequence would be even worse.
Ведь чувствовал, не
Worse than the death
расколется.
of innocent Christians. Worse than the murderer escaping punishment.
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Отлично. Встретить священника вечером. Так, а насчет меча что там?
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father.
Может,
I wouldn't have
научишь?
expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by. And it helps keep me in good form.
Ладно, закончить разговор вечером в корчме, да? Ну, хотя мне и подкрепиться не мешало бы. Заодно уж. А где здесь это? Хавчик. И что там так подозрительно?
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Это местный шериф, что ли?
Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on old Gertrude, the herb woman. He's not one to make a fuss over some trifle either. And that's not all. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing.
Где поспать можно?
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
Certainly. For how long?
На одну ночь, на несколько ночей.
Just the one night?
Sure, but let's see your coin first.
These are harsh times.
Интересно, а здесь свой дом иметь можно? Нет, я попозже подойду к тебе.
Suit yourself.
Так, можно что-то даже приготовить. Так, ладно, животики набили. Садимся. И... подождем до вечера. Интересно, а у священника вечера это во сколько?
God be with you.
Крестьяне. А, здесь еще можно зайти, да? Вот он.
The blessings of our Lord be.
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
Так, сядем. Поговорить.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rodney. Folk who tried to take
Расскажем нашу историю, может, священник благосклонен будет.
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujet, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
Так.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
One beer for me.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Так, это все отговорки. Выходит, я зашел в тупик. В тупик более мягче, отговорки более жестче. Для меня. Давайте в
I
тупик.
understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujet is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything.
Понесло
You
священника.
want to baptize a child?
И
Pay.
тут
You
Остапа
want to steal and
понесло.
murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well,
Amen.
this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Вор распылился. Так. Стоит ли с ним поговорить, а? Вот даже не знаю, нужна эта информация или это просто на поболтать.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe?
Here you are, and good health.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
I've only got 2 hands.
Ну, давайте выпьем.
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Посмотрим, как здесь пьянство организовано. Видать, хорошо организовано, уже светает. Так, пока не пьют 5 секунд. Сейчас отойду. Сейчас вернусь.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Ох, сейчас драка, что ли, будет? Допились, а? Никакого уважения к священнику.
Henry, back me up.
Точно сейчас драка будет. Повеселимся. Правда, не знаю, как с мышкой у меня получится.
Thou shalt not hurt thy neighbor. Get your penance down.
Почему он не бьет, а?
Thou shalt not hurt thy neighbor. Bastard. Get your penance down.
Gone weak at their knees, have you?
Так, не знаю, что там получилось. Слушайте, жалко я. Так, нас положили. Ну да, мы пьяные, и их больше.
I'd love to. And Henry too, I'm sure. Right, Henry.
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me?
О, это мы нас не положили, это мы до такой степени нажрались, а? Как туда подняться-то? Все, вырубились. Мы пьяные.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
А потом на развалинах часовни. Ой, кошмар.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Надо ж так нажраться, а.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
Oh.
Священник.
Has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our
Так, это что-то из Ведьмака пошло. Слушайте, вы... Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Пьянство, бой. Священник совсем поехал.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Такая морда довольная.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. My poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about?
Трилогия хождения под мухой. Первая часть «Хмурое утро».
What have I forgotten? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Итак, вот она сделка. Так, не будем его мучить. Попробуем ему помочь.
I can't make any promises about what will happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Ну, это мы вот так вот пойдем. Такие перекошенно качающиеся.
I wonder what Teresa's doing now.
Jesus,
Could
look
stop
where you're
by and see her
going.
again. I enjoyed it last time.
Ой, еще и эту надо навестить. Вот он пример, а? Привели.
nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hoc facite in meam commemorationem. You may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Так. И какую проповедь мы сейчас влепим? Надо будет выбирать, что ли? Начнем долго.
Greetings, brothers and sisters in Christ. I am here to tell you about Mother Church and to show you through my words how she is falling into decay and abandon, how the once great mother of all Christians is losing her dignity and trading in souls like the merchants in the temple. But I am digressing.
That whelp wants to preach about the church.
Блин, провал.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the
Кажется, мы пробовали, сейчас провалим нафиг.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. And it is all due to
Опять провал.
The corrupt servants of God who do not practice what they preach. They think sins can be washed away by money, and they sell indulgences, and that's bad. Because sins cannot be redeemed with silver.
Prague didn't do much for his confidence.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Так, удачно выкрутились. Продолжим многословно.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church. Look at them.
Фу, блин, опять не угадал, а?
Like hypocrites and buy expensive jewels. They, servants of God. And that is not right, because Christ preached poverty. And only poverty and temperance are true virtues.
and it was almost getting interesting.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Ну, так себе. Кое-как чего-то там пролепетали.
Have you no shame, you pair of buffoons? I'll be writing to the bishop of this. For shame.
Utterly blasphemous.
Can you believe such behavior? For men of the cloth to get drunk in church?
Так, ну не очень-то удачно. Два алкаша.
So, is our deal still on?
Are you pulling my fucking pizzle? I couldn't have done worse myself if I'd puked on the altar.
Well, I'm no preacher.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
You can't be serious. After all that?
All what? All you making a complete hash of my sermon? You were supposed to help, not get me into even more trouble. Now I'll have the bishop on my back, and all the villagers. Just leave, I need to pull myself together.
And what am I supposed to do?
Чудо, я ж
Someone
старался.
else to help you.
Вот тваря. Не, он сам меня на это подбил, и я еще и крайне оказался. Что мне дальше делать? Так. Опять узнать знает ли кто-нибудь про Хромова. Понятно. Блин. Ай, жлоб этот священник.
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sahanush of Light.
Надо его еще одеть.
I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof.
Of course, ask away.
That's all. Thank you.
Так. Доспехи. Так, подождите, оружие соответствует моим возможностям. Сила должна быть 4. А у меня сила 3. А меч-то не соответствует, а? Собака. Поэтому я так фигово с ним и справляюсь. Поэтому-то я так плохо дерусь на мечах. Медленно очень. И быстро выдыхаюсь. Так как у меня просто не хватает мощи. А он еще не проспался, не очухался. Видите, его качает, бедолагу. Хорошо, где я что могу узнать, а? Пойти, что ли, в корчму опохмелиться. Так, что ты мне расскажешь?
I've come in the name of Hanish of Liper. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
Вы посмотрите, как его качает, а? Ну, чисто с похмелья, мужик.
I kept well out of his way.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest. I never did that before. Probably had a bad conscience.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
Так, понятно, это тоже нам ничем не поможет.
Good day to you.
Это вы уже спрашивали. Даже не знаю, где и что можно узнать. Пойти к его дому, что ли? Стоять бояться. А, тебе, по-моему, тоже уже спрашивал, да?
God bless.
Так, может, ты что
I've come in the
видел?
name of of Liper. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here.
Ask all you want, lad.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
Those that live by the sword die by the sword. I'm not surprised the end he came to.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Everything about him was suspicious. I always gave him a wide berth.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
How would I know?
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
I don't know, since I don't go to alehouses.
That's all.
Понятно. Так, а у вас что, мужики? Колитесь.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I've come in the name of of Liper.
Sir Hanush gives a job like that?
Так, это уже кололи.
Thank you.
Вова, приветствую, спасибо за пожелание.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of
I don't know nothing.
That's all. Thank you.
Слушайте, этот бедолага вообще еле ходит, а? Спьяно-то. Руслан, приветствую, спасибо. Ну, стрим сегодня немножечко коротенький будет, сейчас уже заканчиваю. Вечером вряд ли будет стрим, там занят буду. Так, тебе мы тоже спрашивали уже. Ну давай, пьянчуга, иди быстрее, блин. Он даже бежать не может. Он как сопохмел-то голова у него болит. Скрыть замок не надо. Вова, но если в прошлом году было 50, то в этом году 51. Так, здесь труп уже убрали. Похаваем. Что за надпись? Ну да. Вскрыть дом, залезть в него и еще и спать там завалиться. Закроем на всякий случай. Ого. Главное, чтобы меня не засекли за этим делом. Ну, да, игра интересная, цена, конечно, высокая, но по сравнению с последними всеми играми, как бы, все игры дорогие стали. Я даже не знаю, что теперь дальше-то делать. Этот священник отказывается мне помочь. Пойти еще раз его, что ли, потрясти. Оф, и, честно говоря, я сейчас как-то не помню. 1000 с чем-то. Кто орал? Стоять! Стой! Блин, да... Да я с похмелья за тобой не угонюсь. Вы что-то здесь спортом занимаетесь, что ли? Не. Можешь рубануть его мечом, что ли? А, пускай сами разбираются. Ну да, есть такой. И главное, что можно по сторонам еще посмотреть. Так, где священник?
Be a bit more careful.
Ты ж меня обманул, обещал.
Do you have any work that needs doing? My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
Так.
A little bird told you did it.
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul things go into those concoctions. I'd hate to see her poison some poor gullible lass.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Так, я помогу. Может, с травницей сговоримся, она помогать будет.
And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods.
Так, хорошо, задание получено. Сохранить игру не могу. Руслан, счастливо. Да уже заканчиваем стрим. Давайте на этом сегодня закончим. Вечером стрима не будет. Так что, наверное, до завтра. Всем спасибо за ваши лайки, спасибо за просмотры. И до скорых встреч, до новых серий. Пока-пока.